Hello YouTube, this is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard. So I don't know if you're feeling any strange, uncomfortable energies today. We are fast approaching Jupiter Rahu total complete conjunction, which will happen on May 27th, which from the time of this video is just about a day from now. Hi, welcome to the channel. So May 27th, something is going to happen astrologically that is extremely significant and extremely powerful. As you know, this whole section, of March, April, and May, things have gotten very intense energetically. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. I try and stay away from that because you can get yourself in trouble if you start sharing your opinions about what's happening in the world. But there are some extremely significant things going on astrologically. We've got, as you know, Jupiter came out of Pisces not too long ago and entered into Aries, and that is a big deal for Jupiter. Jupiter being the planet of spirituality, coming out of a deep meditative samadhi state in the 12th sign, which represents shifting into the other realm, and then shifting from that water sign into a fire sign in Aries, the first sign in the zodiac, which represents birth, coming into physical manifestation. And so just having Jupiter enter into that after spending all that time karmically going through the whole zodiac, then I believe, well, anyway, I don't want to misquote anything here. In any case, Jupiter's been spending a very long time going through the whole zodiac, and now Jupiter is ready to create a new zodiac as it enters into Aries. We've got all kinds of other things going on, but the big one, as you know, we had the eclipses, which in and of themselves deal with Rahu and Ketu, the north and south nodes of the moon, which are the karmic and dharmic driving points of everything. Without that, nothing would move. So what's going to happen now is that Rahu and Jupiter have been together in Aries for a while, and Rahu and Jupiter are going to be completely conjunct. They're going to completely merge starting tomorrow. So what that means is that we have a planet that is considered a malefic. It's considered a planet of deep, hidden, forbidden knowledge. It is a planet, actually Rahu is not a planet, it's a mathematical point, but what it really is it's like a colored screen, and whatever planet comes near it, it's sort of like that planet has to shine through the smoke screen of Rahu. And so that has a strong impact on the energy of that planet. So you've got Jupiter, which is associated with Dharma, truth, Orlog, spirituality, true religion, blessings in this life, generosity, prosperity, creation. And then you have this planet Rahu, which unfortunately has a bad reputation. And it's frustrating because even as I was trying to do research for this, even traditional Vedic astrologers always say these horrible things about Rahu. And it shows a lack of subtlety, a lack of understanding, because Rahu itself is neither good nor bad. In fact, if we had to choose, Rahu would be actually quite good. But you listen to these traditional astrologers saying that Jupiter is good, true spirituality, peace, and Rahu is bad. Rahu is selfishness and violence and greed and, you know, all of these horrible things. And that's actually not what Rahu is at all. Rahu, if you were to sit down and talk to Rahu, Rahu would say, listen, I'm your best friend. Jupiter is great, but Jupiter is going to let you go through life with all of your denial, with all of your unresolved emotional issues, with all of your unresolved karma. If Jupiter has his way and he's not pushed into a corner, or if he doesn't go retrograde and become the lightning god, if he's just being his happy, peaceful self, he's going to see you and he's going to choose not to look at the things that are eating you up inside. He's not going to take a look at the things that are forcing you to continue to reincarnate because you don't overcome your issues. So he says, I will be that person. I'm going to show you what is the darkest thing inside of you that attaches you to this illusion of the third dimension. The reason that you incarnate. Rahu says, I'm the reason you incarnated. I'm the one that said, look at this, deal with this. And you said, that's a great idea. I'm going to go back into that 3D world. I'm going to incarnate again. And this time, I'm going to overcome this unresolved attachment, this unresolved issue. And so what Rahu does is when you bump into him, he knows what your weak point is. And he puts pressure on it in whatever way. If he's going to tempt you, it's because he can see that you can heal from this, that you can overcome this temptation. So he'll start pushing on that. Now, how you respond is your choice. You can choose to take that negativity within you and the pain that it causes, and you can say, you know what, I'm going to lean into this pain. I'm going to lean into this fear, and I'm going to move beyond it. And then you reach out to Jupiter. And then Jupiter, of course, if you come to Jupiter and you say, hey, can you help me with this unresolved issue inside of me? Jupiter says, of course, come sit down. Let's do, let me give you some herbs and let's do a mantra. I will definitely help you walk through that. I will listen to you. But it's because Rahu pointed it out. Now, if you choose not to deal with it, and you decide to flow with it, and you decide that money is what you need really need is to have more people's love and approval. You need more fame, you need more money, you need more power. What you need is revenge. If you can just get revenge on those people that did it to you, Rahu's going to go, yep, that's exactly what you need. Go do that. Please, I'll help you. Because he knows the fastest way for you to become aware of that and let go of it, if you're not consciously choosing to deal with it, is to walk you right into the bear trap so that then you can't run away from it. Even if it destroys you, you'll at least leave this life and you will have no doubt what you need to do next time around in order to overcome that. So you can hear the superficiality in a lot of astrologers who just simply, just barf back out what they've been told, which is that Rahu is bad, Rahu is temptation, and the truth is you are the one that chooses to do anything. So in this Rahu-Jupiter conjunction, you may already start to feel it. Perhaps you feel sad. Perhaps you feel angry. Perhaps you feel guilty. Whatever negative feeling. And maybe you're starting to think that, you know what, I think I should go and buy that big, giant gallon bottle of, wine and get myself drunk. Maybe I should go and, I'll just do drugs once just to get over these feelings. Maybe I should go and have an affair. I should do something for myself. I deserve it. Or you climb inside your bed and pull the covers over your head and cry and not take any actions let those feelings drive you into hiding from yourself or taking negative action. You may be having some of those feelings, some of those temptations. And that's because Rahu and Jupiter are going to come together very powerfully. In fact, they're already close enough that the dynamic of this conjunction is already starting to hit us. So we need to understand how powerful this is. I've talked about this before. So Jupiter has gone through the whole zodiac and has come out the other side and is now in the beginning phases of creating a new spiritual understanding. He's going to shift us up to another level. He's come back into the first zodiac sign of Aries, and he's on fire, and he's doing his job, spreading spiritual truth and understanding, and helping people to really see themselves and experience themselves. And he's going, of course, forward. He's moving forward through the zodiac. So Rahu has been doing the opposite. Rahu goes backwards. Rahu represents attachment. And as we talked about before, time, we can even say Rahu is time. If you want to say that, we can say Rahu is time. And as we experience the present, time flows backward through us. We have an experience. If you get attached to that experience, your attention gets stretched into the past. As you get attached to that moment goes through you, and then it appears to go, and again, you're sitting in the back of the bus looking backwards. You think that you're going forward through time, but in actuality, you're sitting there as time flows through you backwards, and you're watching it. Just like you're watching the sights as you're in a bus, looking out the back window. And as you get attached to something, and attachment is never a good thing. When you love somebody, you love them unconditionally. It means that you're not attached to them doing something for you. You're focused on just you wanting them happy. That keeps you from being attached to people. That keeps you from being attached to people when they do what you want or when they don't do what you want. When you don't have a personal agenda, you don't get attached to however they respond to you in life. That's why the people that the opposite of love is not hate, by the way. If you hate someone, it doesn't mean that you have the opposite of love. It means that you love them even more. It means that you are so attached to them and you are so attached to what you want them to give to you that it infuriates you. So if you're full of hate towards somebody, it means that you really want them to love you on an unconscious level. What you want most. Think about people who get bent out of shape over race. Pick a side, it doesn't matter. Whichever side of the racial divide. If they're angry and they're resentful, it's from the unconscious desire to have that different thing that they see love them because they think that person doesn't love me. And so they respond defensively by projecting all of their self-directed negativity on whatever racial group they don't like. So if you're attached to something and you have a negative feeling, it means that you love it. You want it to give you something. You're being selfish. Selfishness says, I want you to give me something in exchange for what I do for you. Unselfishness says, I'm giving this to you, I'm letting it flow out of me because I take joy in the experience of you having a beautiful experience. That is all I need and all I want. And I give this to you freely. If you don't want to do anything with it, well, that's your choice. I'll move on to the next person. So Rahu moves backwards. And so as Jupiter is going forward, Jupiter says, don't worry about any of the stuff that you're worried about. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about acceptance. Don't worry about love. Don't worry about success. Don't worry about all this stuff that you get worried. Don't worry about it. Trust. Jupiter is expansion. He says trust. Trust in the universe. Trust that the universe loves you unconditionally. Just do that, I promise you. He's teaching you how to be in the moment and not be attached as life flows through you. So Rahu's going backwards. And as he goes backwards, one of the things that he does, he will connect with Jupiter and he will say, listen, Jupiter, we have got to improve things. I've been going backwards through here and I've been seeing all of the ways that human beings are attached and screwed up. And there are things that we can't just stay stuck in the normal religious mode. We can't do that because nothing will change and things have to change. I'm not afraid to put pressure on people's weak points because that's the only way that they change. And I need your help. You need to expose what is going on. You need to expose the lies. He says, I've got cataloged all of the lies. And I can tell you everything. I know the secrets. I know everybody's secrets. And I can tell them to you. You need to do something. We need to expose this. We need to change the dynamic. We need to change the paradigm. And these are all the ways that it's not working. And so Rahu and Jupiter are going to conspire. And here's what they're going to conspire to do. Jupiter says, Rahu, you are absolutely right. Things have to change. Human beings have hit a plateau, and if they don't evolve beyond it, they will cease to exist. You're absolutely right. I'm in complete agreement with you there. And he says, I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do the mantras. I'm going to do the meditations. And Rahu says, that's not enough. That's not nearly enough. And so Jupiter says, okay, Rahu, what should we do? Rahu says, there's still a group of people who are doggedly refusing to wake up. They refuse to look at the lies that have been given to them over the past 2,000 years. They refuse to acknowledge how they're being manipulated, how they're being killed, destroyed, murdered in ways that they're not even willing to look at. And they're being devalued. Their value as spiritual beings is continuously being eroded, and they are seeking to be part of the group. They'll do anything to be accepted by the group. They're so afraid of being ostracized and isolated, and they've been they've been dealt so harshly that they're so afraid of that punishment from the mainstream understanding and collective. They're willing to sacrifice their souls in order just to be part of the group. And he says, this has to stop. He says, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push on all of the weak points. I'm going to push as hard as I can on all of their weak points. And your job, Jupiter, as we pass by, your job is to grab those that are willing to get out of this cycle of pain and help them to awaken. Help them to awaken to their value. And he says, those that refuse, those that are committed to causing destruction to themselves and causing destruction to others, I'm going to take them with me. And I'm going to go backwards in time. And I'm going to go further down the energetic ladder, and I'm going to take them with me, and I'm going to give them the prison planet that they've been trying to create. And I'll let them stew in that until they're willing to completely let go of it and move on. And so Rahu and Jupiter are conspiring to do this. Those whom Rahu is able to stimulate, and they will not look at their pain and move beyond, they will willingly go with Rahu backwards in time. Those that are willing to move on, who are willing to let go of the pain, willing to let go of their selfishness, willing to face their true value, they will shift into a new world, which we call 5D. And so this is going to happen tomorrow. Now, a lot of things are going to be happening in the world. A lot of really significant things will start to happen. This will be the beginning. This month, you know, as we finish up May, this whole month has flipped on a bunch of karmic switches for the planet and for the species that can never be turned off again. And we hit, you know, as you know, we've gone over, you know, Jupiter has gone over those points where we had the most recent eclipses, and that has opened up some portals. Some of you have felt that. And now that Rahu's going to come back, and he's going to go back, hit Jupiter, they're going to do this thing where they're going to start pulling things apart. And then Rahu is, as time goes forward, he's going to hit those eclipse points, and it will be sort of like, again, you know, opening up a chasm that pulls, you know, those who are heavier will get pulled deeper into it. But with Jupiter being even more stimulated now than ever, you know, once he combines with Rahu and they have this interchange and they come to an agreement on how they're going to move forward, what Jupiter is going to do is he is going to, like a soldier, he's going to go in and he's going to start pulling the lid off of all kinds of things that's been going on in, you know, we call the elites, the deep state, government, however you want to look at it. I'm not going to get too deep into it. You already know what I'm talking about. It's already happening. I mean, if you have any eyes at all, and you just even flip through YouTube, which is part of even the mainstream media, you know, you'll see the old narrative is crumbling right in front of us. We have things happening that never could have happened before. We've got, you know, we had you know, these past few years, which was a lead up to it. We had Donald Trump, who, I mean, when I first heard that he was going to run for president, I laughed so hard because I thought there's just no way. You know, good or bad, right or wrong, whoever he is, this guy, there's just no way. He's just not qualified. He just doesn't have any, you know, he doesn't even understand how government works and all that. And I was wrong about him. By the way, if people think that there's anything that you can do to prevent Donald Trump from winning this next election other than breaking the law or doing something like that, there's no way. There's no stopping this guy. I'm not saying he's good or bad. I'm just telling you the truth. That guy, if nobody, unless something, you know, unbelievable happens, there's no way that guy's not going to win. No way around it. And he is a symbol of this completely destroying the narrative. Right? When people used to say that, you know, 4 years ago, I would just get so bent out of shape. Because I'd say, what are you talking about? He's like, you know, you're like throwing a bomb, you know, inside the White House. He's destroying everything. But that's because I thought we still had a government. I thought there still was a democracy. But, you know, having somebody come in and destroy everything, I think, you know, I don't have a problem with that. Destroying the narrative. Let's be clear, I'm not advocating for any kind of violence. But we've also got RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, that guy's coming in. He's completely, totally opposite the narrative of his political party, the Democratic Party, on so many levels. He is, you know, he's blowing things up as he's gone. And these are just precursors of what's to come. So I am not going to make any predictions about what's going to happen in the world, but one of the things that happens is when you have a rabid dog and you put him in a corner, he gets very dangerous. And right now, the elites and the government are pushed into a corner, and they are pulling out all the stops. If you think the things that you're hearing on the news, you know, I flip on NBC once a day on YouTube just to hear the headlines so that I know what the narrative is trying to say. They're trying to scare you with violence. There's new violence happening all the time. They're trying to scare you with gun violence. You know, they're bringing that up. They are constantly trying to frighten you with potential illness things coming into the world. They're always hinting about that. They've started up the whole UFO thing again. You know, they put that down for a little while. Now they're coming back to trying to scare you with UFOs. And, you know, of course, just watch what happens. I don't know. I'm not going to make any predictions, but there could be some big things explosive things that could be happening around the world as a result of this. And that's because the mainstream is getting desperate. They're getting desperate because they are losing the battle when it comes to the propaganda wars. They're losing. Either people aren't paying attention, or people don't care, or they don't believe. The majority of people just simply don't believe. And you've got people that are just getting more and more hopeless about all of it. And that you can't control people who are hopeless. You can control people who are frightened, but you can't control people who have nothing left to lose. And we're getting to that stage now. People just have nothing left to lose. So I think a lot of big things are going to come out. Dr. Greer is, Dr. Stephen Greer in June is going to be using whistleblowers to reveal what's been going on with the secret space program. And when you tie what's going on with the secret space program, the hidden secret space program that's been going on for 100 years, and you tie that with everything. I won't make any, last things have been going on the past couple of years, 9/11. When you start tying into that has a connection to this deep space program that's been taking trillions of dollars, this is going to be an awareness on a level we haven't seen. And then on top of that, we have the spiritual, the veil between the dimensions is starting to thin even more. More and more people are having mind-bending spiritual experiences that completely destroy the religious narrative of what the universe is, the narrative of isolation. We're finding out we are not alone at all. We never have been. And we have the ability to be part of an entire intergalactic civilization of love and spirituality. And when people continue to wake up to that, there will be nothing left for the deep state to hold on to. And they will have only one choice, and they will be given that choice. And that choice is they can go and create their own dark world to live in. And that is what we're seeing here. I want to try and show you something. I just came across it. I was going to make a video about it. I am going to make a video about it. Let's see, is it that one? Yeah, okay. So I'll make a whole video just on this, but I wanted to show you something that came about last year. So I didn't used to believe in crop circles, because as I find out, there was a CIA-run smear campaign that actually that fooled me, thinking that crop circles were faked. A lot of them are, but there is a difference between the ones that can be faked and the ones that can't be explained. And I'm not going to take the time to go into that now, but I just want to show you a crop circle that appeared last year. And I want you to take a look at it and tell me what you think. I've obviously made some ideas about what I think it might represent. And there it is. That right there is a crop circle that appeared last year. And what I find interesting is that we've got these two circles, whatever they represent, and these two circles are separated by this thin, I've got wormhole there, but that's, that's connecting the two of them. But what's interesting is that one of them only has 4, we can call them dimensions to it, and another one has 5 dimensions to it, and they're separating. Now, I'm calling the one that has 4 dimensions 3D Earth for reasons you should know by now if you followed my channel, which is that to live in the 3rd dimension is actually you are interacting with, we're not going to move from 3D to 4D to 5D because we're already in the 4th dimension, and that 4th dimension is time. So if you want to represent 3D Earth with these lines, you're going to have to create 4 of them because the 4th one is time. And so this other one has 5 dimensions to it. Now, I don't know if that proves anything or disproves anything, but I find that very interesting. That was just last year. So anyway, what you should be aware of today, and in fact tomorrow, starting today actually, because whenever you have something like a conjunction or a full moon or a new moon or something like that, the day leading up to the actual conjunction is when there's the most power. Once you've reached the conjunction, the power of it starts to diminish. So we're right now in the space between now and the actual conjunction, which is tomorrow. We have this is when it is most powerful. So I recommend that if you have the ability, you can create a little altar facing the northeast, which is the direction of Jupiter. It's the direction of the highest ether. And you can do a Jupiter mantra. I was going to type it out for you, but I'll just do it here. So I'm going to give you a very powerful Jupiter mantra. You can face northeast, and if you have any flowers, offer flowers, because Jupiter likes flowers. And you can chant this mantra. I'm writing it down here. Om Lang Vang Rang Yang Hum Lam Bam Ram Yang Hum. Yeah. ISHANAYA Nama. Okay, so there it is in the chat. Ong Lang Vang Rang Yang Hung ISHANAYA Nama. And as you recall, if you're really on top of what I'm doing here, then you know that what I'm doing is I am combining the most recent understanding about how our solar system came into being, and I'm combining it with, sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I'm combining it with the new understanding about what the chakras are. Chakras are actually the projection points for the planets. If human beings didn't exist, the planets wouldn't exist, right? So the third eye, the mantra for the third eye is Om. The mantra for the root is Lam. The mantra for the sacral is Vam. Lam, Vam, and then the mantra for the navel is Ram. The mantra for the heart is Lam Vam Ram Yam. And then the mantra for the seed mantra for the throat is Ham, Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham. So what we're doing is we are firing up all of the chakras, which are the projectors for the planets. So you're flipping on all of your chakras, which, as you know, creates the universe. This is what we're learning. These chakras are not points to open or fill them with energy. That's not what they're there for. As you live a spiritual life, those chakras balance themselves. They come in alignment. And when they become in alignment, whoosh, then they completely can be turned on, and you use them to manifest physical reality. You imagine and intend what you want to happen. And then what happens is these projectors then project onto the 3D screen the reality that you're intending. So we are stimulating the chakras, Om, Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham. And then we are bowing. Namah means to bow. We are bowing to the aspect of Shiva, consciousness, which is represented, connected to the Jupiter, which is the third eye, connected to the Jupiter aspect of Shiva, which is Ishana. Ishana means Lord, but if you're a rune student, you can see the connection to the Ing rune, which means the self, it means the one self. And so this is the aspect of Shiva that goes towards your deepest identity. Ishana means ruler. But if we just look at the syllable of Ishana, it's the one. It's the one, the jiva aspect, the self. So what we are doing is we are chanting into existence the power of Jupiter, because this is the direction of Jupiter to function as Ishana Shiva, who is the Lord of the self, the true self. Bear in mind what Rahu is doing is he is pushing all of the buttons where you are not in alignment with your true self. You're going to experience that in all kinds of negative ways. You're going to experience that as sadness, as pain, regret, self-doubt, anger at others, attachment, lust for things, money, wanting to be loved and accepted. A bunch of old feelings may come up. If you are aligned and you are already connected to yourself, then when Rahu comes by, he will see that there's nothing for him to push on. So what he will do is he will reveal to you secrets about your power, about your truth, that you wouldn't be able to handle otherwise. So when that is connected with Jupiter, the more aligned you are, Jupiter and Rahu, when they pass each other, once they pass each other, the more aligned you are, you're going to wake up to deep understanding and deep revelations about the nature of the universe, about the nature of interdimensional reality, about the nature of everything that's been going on. You'll see clearly with your third eye how you've been lied to, how you've been manipulated. You'll see clearly with your third eye the true essence of human beings, what we really are, which we are divine, infinite deities that have taken form in this human 3D world that we're in. And then once that happens, once they pass by each other and this portal is opened, then assuming that you are somebody who's seeking to follow a spiritual evolutionary path in life, then what's going to happen is that you are going to start to evolve on a quantum scale. I mean, you will be able to work through stuff that would take lifetimes to work through. You may even start having personal one-on-one experiences with spirit beings, teachers, guides, higher dimensional beings. You'll definitely be able to feel more energy if you seek it out. And Jupiter is now going to be, again, go into overdrive to do his job. He's going to turn into the lightning god, and he's going to start revealing to the world all of the ways that we have been lied to and manipulated. And this will force these two vibrations. One I'll call the narrative, which you can associate with the 3D prison planet. And then there is the vibration of freedom and awakening. And these two vibrations will become so discordant, they will have to pull themselves apart. Okay, so that's what's coming. So do that mantra. I would recommend doing it. You can sit and meditate and do it out loud facing the northeast. You put an altar there, get some flowers and put some flowers on the altar and sit and face that. Or you can, you can do what I do, what I've been doing all day is I've just been walking around. If I'm walking on the beach or whatever I'm doing, I just chant to myself, Om Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham Ishanaya Nama. Om Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham Ishanaya Nama. If people walk by, I do it under my breath or I do it mentally, but I get that going so that it starts chanting itself. And this way you can stay aligned to the Jupiterian evolutionary energy. And if you do have any weak points that Rahu would want to press on, you'll be able to overcome that. Because what we want here is we want Jupiter to win. These guys are coming into, they're going to wrestle for a while. And what we want is we want Jupiter to win. And so within you, your knowledge, your wisdom, your spirituality, we want that to be able to overcome any negativity that might be stimulated within you so you don't take action on that. So if you don't have anything to do, it's the weekend. It'll be Saturday for you when this happens. It's Saturday for me now, so Sunday for those of you who live on my side of the world. Then you can just make it a relaxing, I would recommend making a relaxing weekend. Don't plan anything big. Don't do anything huge. Definitely don't go out partying and drinking. I don't recommend that. Bad idea. Don't clutter, because you know Rahu is associated with intoxicants, especially marijuana, and he's the smoke of marijuana, and you know he will blind you. He will give you a false sense of spiritual understanding when in reality you'll just be completely disconnected from your feelings and your true understanding. So take it easy, but you can really go nuts on the spiritual practice. And there you go. So I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. Before we do that, of course, this is a channel of action. If you're just sitting here and you only come on here and listen to me talk, you're getting almost nothing. If you're new to the channel, please go and look at the playlists and start doing the energy work. Look at the rituals, all the other stuff that I make available to you. Of course, I have books at, you can see here, Michael William Denny is my name, michaelwilliamdenny.com. You can see all of my books. And I have books that stretch back. People ask me questions and I go, I have written books about this. Why are you asking me about something you could have read in one of my books? Put some time and effort into at least looking at what the books are and see if there's anything there that is of interest to you. And the most important thing is that we do the energy practice, because the earth is going to make an energetic shift. It's like a physical energy thing. The energy of the planet is going to shift. And so you can't think your way through that. This isn't about sitting around thinking about how you have to shift. You have to shift your energy. The fastest way to do that is to do energy work. Go over here to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. You will get access to the most powerful energy practice ever synthesized on planet Earth. And I say that just because it's true. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe whenever you want. You got nothing to lose. All right. And of course, I do recommend the interdimensional meditation. There's free interdimensional meditations on the channel, and there are advanced interdimensional meditations on the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. All right. Let's take a look here. I'm looking for the questions. All right. Vincent.thunderwizard.com question. What do you think the 3 lines of the wormhole means? Okay, now you're going to tell me what you think it means. Could it mean 3 opportunities to make the shift? Sorry for throwing assumptions in there, but I'm curious what you think. I haven't thought about it that deeply. But the wormhole actually only has 1. See, the wormhole is in the middle. I don't know what those 3 things are. And again, I don't even know that this crop circle means what I'm saying it means. It's, seems to line up with, this current understanding of these 2 Earths being held together by a thread that then eventually snaps. But those 3 lines, I don't know what those are. Maybe they're the wormhole, I don't know. But I was sort of saying that the wormhole was that 1 line in the middle that you can see there. So I don't have the answer to that question. Hang on. Okay, so sorry, I accidentally hit stop streaming, and so I'm hoping that we're still streaming. I guess I'll find out in a couple of seconds here. I don't see any other questions here. I'll wait till I'm sure that I'm broadcasting. Let's do this. So I'm hoping that we're still. Yep. Still broadcasting. Okay. So let's see. There's a feeling here. Vincent.thunderwizard.com. Honest feeling. I'm definitely feeling the conjunction. I'm anxious and depressed, but also choosing to raise my frequency by focusing on what I want to manifest in 5D, trying to stay positive and hopeful. All right. So let's talk again. I'll give you some more specific instructions on what you can do. And I encourage you to continue to experiment with this. I've experimented with it, and I had pretty astonishing results with it. And I have to say, I'm very surprised by that. I've done similar stuff a little while ago, and it's usually like when something happens, I start to feel like I've injured myself physically. And I've been able to 100% completely shift and heal what in the past would have been, weeks of recovery from, pulled muscle or a strained muscle or something like that. And so I'll be very interested to see how this works. So there's that map. There's yourself. Okay. So you've got your 7 chakras. They have a light above on your crown chakra. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, so that's all 7 chakras there. So imagine that. Imagine that you have this projector comes out of the front of your body, and all of those lights get turned on. And what you do is you just imagine. You can just close your eyes and imagine all of these lights, flipping on. You don't get too crazy about it if you're not good at visualization. Just the idea, just focus on that area of your body being able to transmit energy. And then you can continue to breathe. If you want to flip on the pineal gland, then do Qigong first. So do any of the Thunder Wizard Qigong practices that you have access to. And then sit down comfortably. You can do it standing, no reason why you can't. You can do it lying down even if you want. It's not that big of a deal. But once you've done the Qigong, that will flip on your pineal gland and will turn on your electromagnetic field, which is important. If you want to get the pineal gland stimulated even further, I don't recommend doing this if you're doing the deep, intense, like if you're doing the Mao Shan stuff or if you're doing the lightning Qigong. I don't recommend you do this. I recommend you do this if you're new to the channel and you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Qigong, okay? Here's what you can do in a pinch is you can just close your eyes and you can do the Hul breath, of course, but you can inhale very deeply, relax your stomach. And then as you exhale, squeeze the perineum, you know, the muscles at the bottom of your core, squeeze the perineum. And then as you exhale, squeeze the stomach, and then squeeze the chest, and then bring your neck down over the throat. And don't do it too hard, but so if I was to do that, I would inhale. Again, relaxing the stomach, letting the stomach really expand out. And then exhaling, squeezing the perineum, squeezing the muscles of the diaphragm, squeezing the chest, lowering the chin, continuing to exhale. Focus on the top of the crown chakra. Imagine energy shooting out the top of your head. Relax, inhale, squeeze, stomach, chest, throat, shoot out the top of your head. Don't do that a lot. I would only do that 5, maybe 10 times, unless you really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you could fry some circuits. And if you've done heavy Qigong, only do 1 at most. Don't do any, or do 1 of those breaths, and that's it. Because I've already just done 3 in my crown chakra. I can already feel it. So once you've got that going, then continue to just breathe long and deep. Don't squeeze any muscles. Just stay relaxed. Focus on projecting out of your chakras whatever it is that you want. You want to create a perfect world? Focus on that. You want to, you know, I would love to find 100% cotton socks. I don't know why I can't find them. So I would close my eyes and imagine that I have 100% cotton socks so that my feet won't get too hot. I don't care what it is. You can focus on anything. You can try this if you've got, like, let's say you've got a major injury. Then this is what I did. I was out surfing a couple days ago and came off a wave, and I felt that I had strained something in my rib cage, and those can get really nasty. You know, so I was like, I don't really want to be out of commission for a week. So as I was sitting on my board waiting for the waves to come, I just for a second closed my eyes and imagined my chakras firing up, and then I imagined my body completely healing itself. I imagined my body reconstructing itself perfectly, strong and healthy and nothing wrong. And then I opened my eyes and no, the pain was still there. So anyway, continued to stay out in the water, and after about 5 minutes I realized the pain was completely gone. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then I thought, you know, maybe it's there, I just don't feel it. And I got back home a couple hours later, pain totally gone. And that doesn't happen when you pull a muscle. So that told me something. So I've been doing that kind of stuff with all kinds of things in my life, and I've seen that it works. But you can give it a try. All right, so hopefully I explained that well enough for you. I've given you time to write some questions here. Lushka has given me $14.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Honest feeling. Hey Mahadeva, it's been a while. Really appreciate what you shared today in regards to alignments, and has brought great grounding and fulfillment working with Hul and Huar. By the way, what you're hearing in the background is the Huar. Go watch videos about that. Huar, I've made them. And the Huar breath is a sound that is actually the frequency of Earth shifting to 5D. What I found interesting was, if you remember a while ago, my channel got shut down because of a video that supposedly, you know, broke the rules. But what was interesting is that I had 24/7 been broadcasting the Huar breath mantra 24/7. And what happened when they shut down the video is they shut down the live stream. And the more I think about it, I think the live stream was what they were trying to shut down. And they had to look and find an old video that they didn't like, and they did. They found an older video that I did something they didn't like, and they said, that's the reason we're shutting your channel down. But the real reason, I think, was because I was doing that 24/7 Huar breath mantra. So I absolutely, when I'm doing interdimensional meditation, I chant that silently inside my mind, and I can feel the energy of it especially when I've left my body and I'm floating out into space. The energy goes through me. It's incredibly powerful. So I do believe that is the sound for shifting. So you can also chant that, listen to that whenever you want. Okay. I just wanted to mention that because Lushka brought up the Huar mantra. All right, I don't have anything else to say. If you don't have any questions, I guess we're done. So that's it, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. You know, if nothing goes wrong, I'll show up tomorrow and maybe we'll start talking about crop circles and things like that. But that's it for me today, my friends. Thank you for showing up. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.